All right, welcome to the Journal Star Sports Writers podcast, Rivermen edition. Jean-Guy Trudel, head coach, alongside, and he brought Darren McCormick with him, left wing, and the SPHL's leading goal scorer. Nice trade, Coach.
Yeah, he's making me look like a genius again, isn't he?
He is.
I get lucky with that. My players always find a way to make me look like an absolute genius, which I'm not. But they do it for me. So no, we're proud of him. When I got there, and I won't lie to you, I didn't know what to. I seen him play, but you still don't know what to expect, what type of person. And the biggest thing that I get from Darren is, even though he's not the biggest of men, he plays with absolutely no fear. Like, he loves the game, and he just goes out there. And to score 8 goals in the first 7 games, you have to go to places sometimes that are not that fun to go, and he's always there. He goes to those spots with no fear and has fun putting the puck in the net. So it's awfully nice to see as a coach that, even if he's not the biggest guy, he goes to those dirty areas and he gets a job done.
Goal scorers have a sense of where to be, where the chances are going to come from.
When we talk about hockey IQ, people don't realize that understanding the game and knowing where to jump, when to jump, and the right areas to jump in is absolutely phenomenal. Because, if it'd be easy to score 8 goals in 7 games, everybody would be doing it. And for me, I'm not only getting a player that, I knew he was a natural goal scorer. I didn't know why. Now I'm understanding why. He just goes to those dirty areas, and he goes, like, not just once a game. He goes there all the time, and he makes sure he's very good at understanding the game of hockey and knowing when and where to go.
Well, thank goodness he's not still on the Fayetteville team, because they've got enough wins already.
Yeah, they're doing really well. They had a great summer recruiting, and they're doing really well. I think Jesse does a good job over there, and he's brought in that Melkert as an assistant coach, and they look like they're rolling. So I'm happy for them. Jesse's always been great. We have these coaches conference in the summer. He's always been a great guy, and I'm happy for him. He's doing a good job over there. But for me, it's about my team, and like I said, Darren and the McMartins will be coming back here in Peoria soon. So and then for Tax, I actually got Bear, which is another great player for us. So
he's developed nicely.
He's coming. Man, that kid is coming along today. I thought it was his best practice he had with us since he got here. And it's always hard for young guys. You come into a different atmosphere, and now he's starting to feel comfortable. And I think that Alex is going to have another big weekend this weekend. It's going to keep getting better and better.
You said 8 goals, so we've added a goal here somewhere.
Yeah, and
we thought it was 7 on Monday.
On Friday, and Macon, Darren scored, and they had a little trouble in Macon with the score. We had to change 3 goals a night, and then the league just changed it yesterday, I think. So yeah, Darren did score 8 goals.
So you're at 8, which puts you alone on top of the league goal scoring race, because you were in a tie at 7.
Yeah.
So. Well, I mean, where were you, and what were you doing at that moment when you got the phone call, hey, you're traded?
I was actually on the ice training with Jake Moore. He was with Fayetteville for a little bit last year after he finished at Brockport. He's a buddy of mine. I coach goalie camps with him. So I was on the ice training with him, and got off the ice, saw I had a missed call from Jesse, and I was like, oh no, this probably isn't a good thing. Usually if you're getting a call just kind of randomly at that, so I gave him a call back, and he had informed me that I was traded to Peoria, and obviously when you get that news, it comes as a shock, but like I said before, I'm extremely fortunate and happy with how everything's turned out. I love it here. So,
yeah, I was going to ask, what's your first reaction when you hear Peoria in that sentence?
Well, first was traded. He didn't tell me where, so it's immediately shoot.
Oh boy!
It's it's you can spin it any way you want, but initially it's always going to feel like they don't want me, and so that's initially how you take it, and you kind of have a chip on your shoulder. That's kind of how I've always taken it. But at the same breath, it means another team wants you, and he said it was Peoria, and I was like, okay, that's a pretty sick team. I'm pretty excited for, this. They're a very offensive team. Every time we played them, they're very offensive minded, and obviously have a ton of wins every year. They're consistently among the top. So I thought it was a good opportunity to go to, and yeah, I've really been fortunate here.
And any Peoria player, from the moment he sets foot in the locker room, sees that tradition and the history of the organization too, partly because Guy makes sure it's there and present. I mean, how much has that impacted you? How much have you seen it?
Well, it's so cool. I mean, like you said too, like this was an AHL team too. Like there's been guys like, Reeves and all these guys that which won the Stanley Cup. We were actually just talking in the lobby about it. Like so many of them played for, Peoria while they were with, the Blues were with the AHL team and stuff. And it's cool, being in the same place that some of these guys were and just seeing the success that they've had over the years and just kind of being able to be a part of that.
Well, I guess we can go ahead and tell folks now, because it's on the Journal-Star website at pjstar.com. The Stanley Cup is coming to the Rivermen game on December 21st at Carver Arena, and Blues fans and the Blackhawk fans that are around here will have a chance to get in there and touch the cup and get pictures with it and look for some of those names of the players who've come through here, and it'll be a really exciting night.
Yeah, I think that's the coolest part. I think the Stanley Cup, I think it's the most beautiful trophy, and I'm biased, of course, but it's seeing the names on it. I think that's what's cool, and you get a chance to do that, and you come to a hockey game and see it, because, when you think about it, ticket was, $10, $12 or whatever it is, and you get the chance to see the Stanley Cup, and not necessarily the trophy's great, it's beautiful, but just seeing the names, that's what I look for. When I remember, I thought I told you it was Major Junior last time I touched it and saw it, and that's the first thing I wanted to do. That's what makes that trophy special, how they build it with those tiers,
with the different rings,
with the different correct,
all those
the different tiers of the rings, and then after that the names on them, and then when they're done with one, it goes to the Hall of Fame, and it keeps the trophy just keeps building and building with that tradition. So we just talked about Peoria's tradition with what I try to accomplish with our pictures and our team pictures and our championship, and make sure the guys understand because I always say we're blessed to play hockey or coach hockey. So traditions come with different things, and I think bringing the Stanley Cup in Peoria is going to be really cool, not only for young guys, but for, like you said, fans of any team. Because you're a fan of like Andrew Mosbrook of the Philadelphia Flyers. Well, they won the cup too. You know what I mean? So you go there, you see names. Anybody,
get him into therapy.
Yeah, we're gonna make sure about that. But I think it's pretty darn cool to have that trophy coming in Peoria.
How about you, Mac? Have you had a chance to be around that cup?
Well, being a Buffalo Sabres fan, unfortunately, haven't had too many experience with it. But, funny story, actually. I was at the no-goal game in '99 at the Sabres Stars. I was there, so we didn't stay for it. We left. I forgot how old would I have been at that time, like 6, I think.
6 years old.
Somewhere around there. And we had the program, and I just remember walking out, going through each player, Stu Barnes sucks, Holzinger sucks, just ripping all the Hasek sucks.
So is that what they call in Buffalo, the no-goal game?
Yeah.
Because in Dallas they call it the goal game.
Yeah, it was no goal. That wasn't a goal. It was against the rules.
It's a whole different story.
It's a whole different. And I remember because my good buddy Briere and all those guys were there, so I remember that, and I remember the goal, and it was against the rules. But it's funny how different cities call it different things, right?
It was a glorious moment in Texas.
Yeah, that was. But yeah, other than that, just I think maybe twice. I think once, but just being a hockey tournament in Toronto or wherever. My parents took me to the Hockey Hall of Fame, saw it there.
Either of you guys know anybody whose name is on that cup?
Oh yeah, I'm sure I know a lot of guys. I would have to. Well, even just the guys that played here in Peoria, or there's a lot. Yeah,
I mean, you encountered a few here. I don't know if Mac has.
Yeah. Not personally, no.
We'll have to get through we'll have to go through all the players downtown and see if anybody's got a
not just that,
cousin's uncle whose name is on that thing.
I play with so many AHL, or even when I time in the NHL, I'm sure there's. I'd have to think about it, but I'm sure there's tons of players that I really know, and that had a chance to win the Stanley Cup, which is kind of cool. So it's really.
I think it's the greatest championship in sports because it's the hardest one to win.
I agree with you that it is the hardest, and I don't know with Darren, but we were born in Canada. That's all you were thinking about. It seems like when you're 2 years old and you kind of understood life a little bit, that Stanley Cup is what you want to win, no matter if you play hockey or not. That's everything. That's everything. So for me to And I'm going to be, I'm going to make sure Bart allows us to go and see the Stanley Cup and see the names and enjoy it a little bit because, like I said, as a coach or as a player, the chances that you get one is pretty rare. So if you have a chance to see it, you make sure that you're there for it.
The Stanley Cup down in the Rivermen locker room.
I think that'd be really cool. I think it'd be a really good picture with the boys and blow it up. And I always say we want to build as much tradition as possible. And even a picture with the Stanley Cup and put it up in the locker room, I think for years to come, it'd be a great picture and a great memories for the boys to have a chance to see that
Just lie
trophy.
to people and say we won it.
Yeah,
There
exactly.
you go. It's ours.
A few years from now, I won't know.
It's ours. Well, we do want to give props to Bart Rogers. He's been chasing that cup for 4 years, trying to get it booked to come to Peoria. It's, as he told me this afternoon, it's very hard to do outside of the tradition during the summer where it travels with the members of the team that won it. Once the season starts, there aren't as many appearances for that thing. So he's done a great job getting it in here.
And that's news to me because we were just talking in the lobby. I didn't know how he got it here. I thought it was maybe True Blues or something this year that he got it here, so I had no idea.
Dog-eared pursuit.
That's great. Yeah.
Pounding the Hall of Fame's phone and the NHL's phone. And
well, we talk about our tradition. We know Bart. Bart's been doing so much for Rivermen over the past, many years. When I got here in 96, Bart was working here for Rivermen.
Yeah.
So it was he does a lot, and of course those are the type of things I think upstairs that they do, and anything that they bring in is not easy. Like me,
No.
it's a process on everything, and they do a good job upstairs of making sure that our fans get the very best that we can afford here in Peoria, and Bart does a great job at it.
well, we'll have more details in that story on Facebook and on pjstar.com, ticket prices and what you will and won't be allowed to do with the cup when it comes here, and all that.
I want to see that
thing.
won't list.
One of the,
So you're saying we can't take it to the bar after? Or?
there will be no bar involved. There will be no the stories we can tell.
Oh, that'd be a good story.
I mean, I remember the 99-2000 ECHL team. Mm-hmm. That cup didn't last an hour post game, and it was in the Illinois River.
Yeah, we in
With
Houston,
a player with it.
Oh, that's good. That's
in
good,
Houston,
at least.
we used the AHL as a floating device also.
Floating, yeah.
Yeah, we had a volleyball tournament, and the winner with the cup as a floating device, and that cup saw a lot of things. Yeah, it saw a lot of things, and good story. You want me to tell you a good story?
Sure, yeah.
All right, so we won in
this is the
Houston,
place
and we have my captain. I hope the old
Calder Cup. What
Calder
year?
Cup. I don't. In Houston, 2002, I think it was. Was it?
I think it's probably right.
Yeah, 01 or 2, I think. Yeah, 01 or 2. And then, so we, of course, our owner owned a limo company, so we had everything planned. I was part of the leadership group, and I'm like, if we win, we want 7 limos parked in front of the apartment complex. And so as soon as we got back from Toronto, because we played Hamilton in the finals, we won Game 7, partied in Toronto in a bar that Todd McClellan was our coach of the LA Kings now, and he had a buddy in Toronto that had a bar. So we partied there till our flight, which was 6, 7 in the morning, I don't remember. Came to Houston, got to Houston, we had a parade, and then right after that, we had our limos parked in the parking lot,
Ready
right
to
when we
go.
got ready to go. So for 2-3 days, that cup saw a lot of things. Like it was saw a lot of things that probably shouldn't have seen. And then so Kluch, our captain, Sylvain Kluche, what played in the AHL forever, played some NHL game. His brother played for Vancouver. Dan Kluche, the goalie.
Right.
So Sylvain's like, you know what? He's like, my wife is preparing a big party this weekend, and it was time for us. I was traveling back to Peoria, and he traveled with me, and he was going straight to he's been in the Toronto area. So I'm like, seriously? He's like, yeah. He's like, she wants the cup. So I'm like, and we're roommates, and captains and assistant captains would have the cup every night to make sure, we put it in our apartment, make sure it doesn't, make sure it's safe. Yeah, okay. As okay as it can be. And then he's like, I think I'm going to steal the cup. So I'm like, I don't know if that's a good idea or not. So he's like, yep. He's like, I'll just send it back after the weekend. So we're driving. We leave Houston that morning, and we're driving about 4 hours in the road, and I get a call from our owner. Hey, Guy, I know you guys were the last with the cup. Have you seen the cup? And Sylvain's car is right in front of mine. We're following each other till Chicago. So I'm like, nope. I haven't seen the cup at all. I wouldn't know where it is. I'm like, last I known, these guys had it. So he's like, okay. So he calls Sylvain. And he's right in front. And then Sylvain calls me. He's like, did he call you? I'm like, yeah. I said, I didn't know. He's like, me too. I said, I have no idea. So Sylvain stole the cup, brought it to Toronto, had a party that weekend with his family, and sent it back in the mail. The owner was a little bit upset, but after a while, I was like, you know what? You guys won the cup. You guys can do whatever you want. So he got his 3 days with the cup at home. So it was, we stole the cup that year.
It's a tradition, man.
Yep.
I remember the Kelly Cup in the bottom of the goaltender's pool. Mm-hmm. Just laying down there, while they were deciding who was going to dive 10 feet down to get it.
And you know what makes it, and I always tell Bart these things, if we won, we want to do this is because, like you said, I think hockey, no matter what trophy you win, it's so hard. You're going through, like for us, we were so exhausted mentally that when you win it, like you just want to have the best time of your life, really appreciate the moment. And I think once you get older, those moments are very far in between. So once you have a chance, you got to celebrate. And everybody was different mixed emotion on seeing Ovechkin, and that, like, I think it's great. You have a chance to win a champ. Enjoy it. Enjoy every single moment with it. Have fun.
You may never come again. It's really hard. Again. I mean, it's such a hard trophy to win.
When I took the job in the SP, I was like, okay, 10-team league. We're going to win that quick. And now 78 years later, we're still looking, and I feel like we had a lot of success, but it's not easy. Like, there's nothing easy about winning. And ours, it's only 2 out of 3s. Imagine the NHL or in the AHL where we had 4 rounds of 4 out of 7 that you had to battle the same team 6-7 games in a series. Like, it's mentally and physically very hard. So when you have a chance to win any trophy, man, you take advantage of it.
You cut it loose.
You cut it loose. You absolutely cut it loose.
Well, you beat Macon 4 times in a row.
A little bit of a playoff series already.
Yeah, that was rough.
That's not easy to do. I was surprised by that, and not because anybody expects you to lose a game, but just because you're playing one team 4 straight times. That's really hard to do.
Well, we talked about it. It's hard to beat a team twice in a row. So imagine winning 2 at home, them being upset, waiting all week for us, and us coming there with 13-hour traveling and
good team too.
They have a very good team, and that's what people like. I talked today on my show. Like before they played us, they were undefeated in regulation. Like, it's not like they're bad. They're a pretty good big hockey team, and they gave us everything we could handle over there. We got lucky. We had great goaltending, and I think our guys stood up for each other, and that and then we took over at the second and third period of the second game to make it 4 in a row, and it wasn't easy though.
No.
We I think that first game took a lot out of us. A lot of emotions went through that game, and then but the boys responded great after. I think we left. The 4th game, we left Brodeur on an island, and I think as a brother, as a teammate, as a family member, you kind of feel bad. We kind of left him alone, so I think the boys took over the second and third period and had a lot of pride.
That was amazing in the first period, though, with 22 saves.
Yeah, and they're
in a scoreless game.
Couple 4 in a row.
Yeah, and that's see a lot of their shots making's from the outside, but in that first period, actually, they had 4 phenomenal, and I'm not just talking one shot, 2-3 shots in a row, phenomenal scoring chances. So he did come out big in the first period, that's for sure.
Well, Mac, why don't we go through a little bit of your history? Where you grew up and how you found your way into the game.
So my dad's a big hockey guy, big Sabres fan. Played just in local community, like growing up and stuff. So before I could walk, I had a hockey stick in my hands for like pictures and stuff. He would like shoot balls at me and whatnot. So I was supposed to be a goalie actually, but he said like I was doing good at forward, so he didn't like want to.
Why were you supposed to be a goalie?
Because he was a goalie.
And
also I kind of think like a goalie
name,
and stuff
by the
too.
way?
Darren.
Oh, are you a junior?
Yeah, I am.
Nobody knew.
Yeah.
All right.
So, but yeah, so just played. I'm from Buffalo, New York. Played for West Seneca and the Buffalo Eagles growing up. I played Catholic high school for like my freshman, sophomore year. Then I moved away to Detroit to play for Bell Tire 18U, my junior, senior year of high school. Was there for 2 years, won a state championship my first year there, went to nationals, and they had like us, Shattuck, and Greater Boston Junior Bruins all like in the same pool like to start. We were all like the top 3 teams in the country. We all like lost the next round, and then some team that wasn't even ranked, I think, ended up winning that year. So that was kind of rough. But played a couple years in the NA, played a year in the OJ for Michael Pekka. Loved that. That was went back home to play for the Junior Sabres. It was my OA year. Didn't get any D1 offers. Thought I was going to. So I went to SUNY Cortland. From what I was told, it was the SUNYAC was the best conference, staying in state, best cost-wise. And I loved it there. I did pretty well. Unfortunately, we didn't have much team success. I graduated in 3 years. We didn't make playoffs at all. I think it's been like 15 years or something like that since we haven't. Ooh. Yeah, but go Red Dragons. Still love them. So from there I signed with Elmira Jackals, the Sabres organization in the coast, for a couple games. So I was like in a weird in-between spot where like our season ended and I was still waiting to try to sign pro and go somewhere. And I ended up signing there just for like a weekend. And the day I got there, the team found out via Twitter that the organization was folding. So
that was ECHL?
That was, yeah, ECHL.
You signed with them?
I signed with them, and then we find out.
Sorry, we're done.
Yep. So,
wow.
And that's, I guess they had traded for a guy that didn't think he was going to be reporting because all that came out, and he did reports. They're like, oh, sorry. So I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. So
you got fired from a team that was folding.
Basically, basically. That's
a
when
good
you put
feeling.
it that way, what am I doing with my life?
That's got to feel great.
So funny stuff, but I actually got a call from Jesse. I was out from Fayetteville, Kentucky. I was with my parents and my grandparents. It was St. Patty's Day. I was back home because I had enough credits. I was pretty much done with school. So we were out celebrating St. Patty's Day, and got a call asking if like I could come down and play for Huntsville for them. I was like, yeah, absolutely. Went there. He was like, yeah, like we need scoring. Like we're having trouble. I was like, okay, like, sure. And thought I did pretty well. I think 7 games I had like 4 goals and assists, but they didn't keep me on the playoff roster. So I just went back to school and then was there for like graduation and stuff. The following year signed with Macon. We had played them with Huntsville a few times, so I thought that was a good opportunity for me to play there since Coach Kerr had seen me play a lot. So I thought that would be a good opportunity to play there, get my feet in the door, kind of establish myself in the league. Went there, enjoyed it there. Kind of played like a 10th forward-ish role kind of for a lot of the time. And just kind of started learning more of the pro game, pro style, like how things should be done, like simplifying a little bit more, not trying to beat guys one-on-one a lot of times. And it was at that point I was leading the league in goals, and I was friends with Dakota Kletcha, who was in Fayetteville at that time. Like we would play Fortnite together, and he was telling me that like wasn't sure about the situation where it was at, and he was like, hey, like what's going on with Macon? Like, is there some interest? I was like, oh, like I don't know. We'll talk and see. So basically, had a conversation with Coach, asking like, he's like, yeah, like we're like, we'll be in touch. Like, and then he asked me before, like, is he interested still? And I was like, yeah, probably. Like we play Fortnite together. Like, you know, we played together at Bell Tire. Like we have really good chemistry and stuff too. Like he's a fast player. He's like, oh, okay. So coming the next day, I talked to Dakota, and he told me that he heard rumors that like he was getting traded to Macon. I was like, oh, cool, okay. And he's like, I heard it's a 2-for-1 deal. I was like, okay. So I'm going through my head like who it could be, and I'm like, it's a 2-for-1. Like it's not going to be. It wouldn't make sense, right? If I was it, and then I get in and
here it comes.
Here it comes. Darren, Coach wants to see you. Everyone in the room just like looked at me with dead stare. I was like, no. And then, so yeah, it was for me. I traded for him and my buddy. So yeah, that's the last time I go and like
no good
say, hey, like what's that? No, you guys can sort it out yourself. Yeah. So I went there, went to Fayetteville. It was like they had a coaching change the same day I got traded there. John Bierchin. Real great guy. Worked on a lot of like skill stuff. I was there for 2 weeks, and he was buddies with the coach in Cincinnati. And the coach in Cincinnati, the Cyclones asked for, needed a skilled forward, and he recommended me. And I'm forever grateful for that opportunity. It was amazing being up there. I got to play in quite a few games right off the hop because they had some guys that were hurt, some guys that were called up, and played fairly well. Actually played center for a few games. Whenever I play center, I play really defensive. I don't know what it is. That's why, like, when you ask me like forward or like wing or center, I'm like, wing. Like, I'm way too defensive minded when it comes to center. And but yeah, I went there. That was a really cool experience. And then last year is just in Fayetteville with Jesse, and then got the call to come here in the off season.
Boy, you sure you want to keep him around? A lot of stuff happens on these teams he's with. Boy, you put a move that everybody on the planet has seen, the Mike Legg Michigan move.
The same day.
A couple of weeks back. The
everyone
same day
else does it.
Finally happens in the NHL. But, tell us about what went into that. I mean, you had a funny story.
Kind of blacked out. I don't know. I coach, like I said, with at a goalie clinic goalie camps over summer, and like some of the drills we do are like out of the corner, like either a wraparound, tight jam, walk out for a shot, and it gets monotonous after a while. So I'll mix it up. I'll like flip it over the net or pull a move like that and do it on 12-year-olds. It's just build the confidence and. Yeah, and then to get kids going like, oh, it's not game-like, it's not realistic. And then so I sent that to Bob, the head instructor, and I was like, all right, goalies can't complain anymore.
Bob Janos, goaltending.
A school of goaltending.
School of goaltending, yeah.
He was actually the goalie coach for a while for the Rochester Americans. He's with the Niagara Ice Dogs now.
Right. So now there's proof.
Yeah. So...
Well, it was a heck of a play.
It wasn't much really thought going into it. I don't know. I just kind of like spun off. I looked at it like, I was like, maybe. And then like I spun off again the other way and I saw I had time. I was like, I might as well try it. And it's kind of one of those things where like you go to pick it up and like if it doesn't, like the ice is bad or it doesn't get on your sticks, okay, I'll just keep skating with it. But it like got on my stick and I was like, I guess I'm trying it. So
that'll be our quick shift. We taped a couple of weeks ago. That'll run today with this podcast where Coach Trudel will look at that play and break it down for us, and you'll see it over and over and over on a loop. But
for me, it was we were talking about it. You need confidence. That's a play, and we talked about earlier, like is IQ around the net and knowing where to go.
Yeah,
you need to know I call it the surroundings. You need to know your environment because. One D coming the other way, one defender coming another way, you're in trouble. And for that, you could, that's why Darren's having a lot of success. He knows when he's around the net where he should be, what he should do, and stuff like that. And I actually got a message from my old buddy Peter Worrell that coached Darren. He's like, "Would you have been mad if you?" I'm like, "No." I said, "You can't." Like I always say, you have different types of players. And Darren's a player that he's got so much IQ around that net that you can't just cage those guys. Sometimes you have to let them be. Let them be them and try different things. And I know Darren's smart enough to understand if it's a 1-1 game in the playoffs that that move's probably not going to be done. It's a 3-2 game I think at the time. We have momentum. Great move. Great. Just understanding of his environment on the ice, and to me that was amazing.
I'm amazed that you can see in that video, in the camera shot, all five guys, all five defenders are standing there.
Yeah, but the problem is a lot of teams right now we talk about they play man on man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
when you play a team man on man, if you have a really smart offensive guys, I say it's the easiest system to play against because if one guy's done, you have a lot of space. And your one-on-ones become really valuable.
Yeah.
So Darren, I think, recognized that. I think it was Tax that went at him, fell down, and then he had all this room. So then you could see a lot of their defenders were looking the other way because they're playing man-on-man. So for that, it gives you a lot more.
That's a little bit of a shield too, like coming around. It's like an extra barrier, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. It was just a really cool, slick play. Is he going to go up at some point, you think? Will he play in the ECHL?
That's absolutely our goal. That's our goal with everybody and everybody that's having success. So it's actually been slow for us, to be honest.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, at this time of the year, we almost lost another guy to Maine a few days ago, but Maine decided to go in another way. I was trying to push a few guys that are doing real well, which Darren is one of them, and Reichs is the other guy.
Jacob Reichert.
Yeah, I'm trying to, the guys that are doing well to me, go. Like you deserve to get called up. You deserve to play at the next level. Just go, and then what you do with your opportunity, it's up to you. I mean, the only thing as coaches you can do is push for your players to get the chance to go to the other level, and then a lot of times it's opportunity. The coaches plays you in the right situation to succeed, and then a lot of times it's with your attitude. You go there with a great attitude, you have success, and you see over the years we have a lot of guys that never came back. So, and that's what our goal with Darren. The same thing as everybody else. We want Darren to go up. We want him to have success. Are we happy he's in Peoria? Absolutely. But our league, we understand we're a development league, and our job is to develop them to go to the next level and try to give them as much, put them in the right situation while they're here, to have as much confidence when they go up, not just to be another player. Yeah, I mean, to be actually a guy that plays a lot of minutes.
Yeah, I mean, a call up where you're sitting in the grandstand as a scratch.
You just lose confidence, and you start kind of hating. You start hating the game a little bit. It's not fun for anybody. Yeah. And but for me, my job as a coach is when I get a phone call, I bring the guys in the office. They talk to the coach. They decide if it's a good opportunity. I want them to be happy. For me, my job is my relationship with my players are going to be way more important in the future. That there's that trust level that I never lied to them. I made sure that they had all the opportunities possible. I can live with myself with that. If I'd be the guy that would hold them back, I just couldn't live with myself.
Fair enough. Brothers, sisters? What's the family?
Two younger brothers, Dan and Kevin.
Hockey players?
95 and the 99. The 95 isn't. He had, like, when he was young, he had, like, his brain was, like, pushing up against his skull.
Oh.
So he had, like, a section of his skull removed, so he didn't play any contact sports. He's actually in a band. Wasn't a band. Forming a new band now. He's the music one of the family. And then my younger brother, Kevin, he's a 99. He was a goalie, but had a few concussions in a short span, so my parents were like, "Don't
see that goalie position." Kind of that's bad news.
Yeah, well, it was just a lot of like kids taking slap shots at his head in practice and running them, and some people are just more concussion prone than others, and at the end of the game. Or end of the day, it's it's a game, and your health's a lot more important than down the road. So that's kind of.
Did you finish your degree?
I did.
In what?
Sport management.
So what do you want to be when you're old?
I'm still figuring all that out. No, I still just kind of want to be around the game. Like I like coaching. I don't know, something involving hockey. That's kind of what my thought process was when I got that job, or when I went for that degree. Like I still coach in the summers and things like that. I enjoy being around the game. So it's definitely going to be something involving sports or hockey.
Well, you got a new player in this week. When don't you? Theo Calvis. And boy, you can't coach size, and he's got it. 6'5", 220 maybe?
Yeah, I'd say he's about there. Yeah, 215, 220. He's
stay home defensive.
Yeah, I don't know if he's, me, I don't believe in
defensive. You hate labels.
Yeah, I don't like that. I believe you rotate, man. You just do what you need to do.
You're going to make him more than a defensive.
Absolutely. We can't have, if you talk to Darren, you can't play 3-on-5. You need your defenseman to be part of the rotation all the time. So for us, we don't believe in we just believe we rotate 5 guys. We just have fun 5 guys and we rotate.
Everybody go.
As long as we always have our 2 guys a little bit in the right area. I don't care if it's a forward. I don't care who it is. As long as we rotate the right way, we don't want to lose momentum because one guy's not available or not ready to do his rotation. And I think Teal is going to be the same way. I think the first weekend I always say players usually play a little bit safer, a little less confidence. Right now he comes from a place where he only played 1 game in a month. Probably the confidence is a little low.
A little conditioning, too.
Yeah, a little conditioning. You're on a new team. You don't want to make mistakes. So you play a little bit more tentative, but I'm going to encourage him to jump into play, to make sure he joins the rush, to make sure he's always up in the play, up on his line, do what he has to do. And I think that's always takes a little bit of time with guys, but at the same time, I saw enough in practice the last few days that he's going to be just okay as long as he puts in the work. And he's a great kid. First conversation we had, again, is the same thing. You got to be 100% in, man. So he said yes right away, and we're good to go.
That's fantastic. Are you going to have 5D this weekend?
We're going to have 5D. Schmutz is still suspended.
Yep. Skylar Smutek
he's
finishing a 3-game
Yeah, he's got 2 more games this weekend. So we're going to go 5Ds, which I like anyways. I'm a big 5D.
Well, I was going to ask you, are you just going to rotate those pairings, or do you have Calvis with somebody specific?
We rotate.
So he'll play with everybody.
If you play for me, that's the thing. And you play long enough, it's because you're very good and smart. And I can play you in any situation with anybody. And my biggest thing, and Lions know this, and I didn't explain it that's well to these guys. But when you go in the coast, you can't ask the coach who you're going to play with. You're going to play with different players. You're going to play with different position. You have to be good everywhere. You have to understand how to play.
In the East Coast League?
In the
Well,
East Coast
chances
League.
are you're not going to be
Correct.
in the role that you're
Like
in
Darren
down
said,
here.
in Cincy, he played as a center.
Right.
You have to be ready to play with anybody, and that's why even my lines we talk about every time I give you my coach's bench card, and
Yeah.
I'm always they're good for one shift.
Those last
Yeah.
about 35 seconds.
They're 35
after the puck
seconds, and
drops.
after that, as coaches, you have feelings. You see two guys that are working well. You see two guys that are not. You change it here. Then these two guys are going really well. I'm big on pairings. I love pairs, and I add somebody to it. And then same thing for my D. If you play within our system, you can play with anybody. You can play on the right side, the left side, learn it. I'll teach you. You'll be fine. Have confidence. Play the right way. So he's going to be the same thing. We rotate our 5 Ds, and over the years, I had sometimes some Ds that I would say, okay, I can't get those 2 Ds together, or I can't get these, and I had different things that I do. But right now with our defensemen, I trust everybody. I just put them out there, and a lot of times they are on the bench. If I don't have a D coach, a lot of times I'll be, are you guys okay until something important happens? If face off in zone, a face off here, a PK, then I'll decide who's putting out there. But if not, Scrobes and Neville and all those Hammy and all those guys that just take care of the D part, and they know I trust them.
Yeah. And what I was just going to say with the
I was going to ask you.
thing,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
it's
Jump in.
everyone, like, we're so, like, even today, like, we were just working on, like, our rotations and everything, so everyone knows where you should be. So it really shouldn't matter who you're playing with. Like, obviously there's some little chemistry things that happen, like, throughout, like, the course of the season or plays, or some guys might read off just the intangible plays a little bit better. But overall, like, there really is no excuse why everyone can't play with everyone.
Because when we talk about our rotations,
Yeah.
like Darren said, people say we're detailed. Really, we're just playing hockey the right way. I think that people are always a support in a different spot,
Right.
and everybody knows where they're. So it doesn't matter where you're playing. When you get the only place, really, I always say the only place is when your left wing has to be on the left side is either with our transition or defensive zone. If not, you're just getting open and getting the puck and wanting to make plays, So guys know that, and I like to do it just because for the fact, too, over the years that if you go in the coast, they might ask you a left wing to play right wing. You have to do what you have to
Well,
do.
you might be asked to be a whole different role as well. I mean, you're on the top line down in the SPHL. You go up to the coast, you might not be a top 6 forward.
And that's why if you do your details right here all the time in every
Exactly.
3 zones, then when you get up, it's not a big transition for you to play as a penalty killer, you've learned the rotations, you learn everything, so it's pretty easy
Your
transition.
special teams are unconscious.
Yeah, it's because of these guys. Yeah. We have certain little set things we do, but they do the rest. I think the biggest thing is these guys are really buying in and doing the right things.
Yeah.
Like even on the PP, a lot of our goals are from our 3 guys loose puck. They're about to get it. We pressure. We get it back. We get second, third opportunities. They make it count. A lot of things is their details. They decide to actually do them right, and they're getting.
I haven't, especially like those low guys like Reichs and Hendo and whoever's down. Like, I haven't played on a team where like guys like as soon as you turn it over, like everyone's going at the puck. It's
our big
amazing.
thing is on turnovers or loose pucks.
Right.
We have certain areas. 3 guys have to be there right away, and these guys are machines. They just right there, and they get the puck back second, third opportunities, then we score. Because as a penalty killer, there's nothing more frustrating. You get a loose puck, a guy doesn't clear it because they're pressured. We get second, third, they're exhausted, and we just, I thought that your goal in Megan was a little bit of that. We got pucks, low to high shot. You were there.
The one where I intentionally threw it off and at that one. Yeah. Totally meant to do that.
So no, I think it's more those guys just trusting.
Well, I mean, they're dominating units. Reichert really stands out on that kill, blocking shots and very positional. And the bottom line is you've allowed 2 power play goals all season and scored 2 shorthanded goals. I don't know if there's another team in pro hockey that has that ratio.
Yeah, and
That's
I think
really
that
unusual.
what I'm most proud is we killed 6 5-on-3s.
Yeah.
and at least
Yeah,
like
well, I
some
mean,
long ones.
you
like
are-
some really long
You are
ones.
the most penalized team in the SPHL.
Yeah, guys like
Well, that's
Darren,
a negative
they just,
way to look at it.
Yeah, Darren, they're just they're just dirty players.
Yeah.
Guys like Darren and stuff.
Yeah,
They just
I mean,
like to
it's-
mix it up all the time.
It's just really
You know
clearly.
me.
No,
Big body presence.
We our units are doing well, and that's why we're winning.
Yeah.
We have a board, a process board, and special team is one of them. And I truly believe if you win the special team battle every night, you win most of your games. So that's a big one.
Well, 7-0-0 to start. That's the greatest start to a season in this organization's history, and starting to creep up a little bit on the league record, which is 11 from Birmingham last year. And I know you well enough to know that you're really not even thinking about that much, are you?
No, we're thinking tomorrow. We have a big game in Evansville. They played really well last game in quad. They outshot quad by 20. They lost a game, but they played really well. And
They're better than their record
oh,
shows,
they are.
aren't
I think the same thing a little bit as they have great forwards. They can fly.
There's a lot of skill in the
There's a lot
league
of
this year,
skill.
yeah.
I think defensively is where they tighten up a little bit, and I think goaltending hurt them a little bit. And now they have the two guys that are in there pretty darn good. I watched both their games and pretty darn good. So I think they're a lot better team. I don't think this year. I think last year we had Evansville that was pretty weak, and Quad wasn't as good as other teams. But this year, Quad City, Evansville, I think their records don't show really what they are because they're a really good team. Even Macon right now is 2-4-2, but I think they're
Yeah,
really
that's not-
good hockey team. So I don't think you have any I don't think there's going to be any easy night this year.
Yep. Well, you head into the weekend on top of the league, and 2 games at Evansville, and everybody healthy, I presume.
Yeah, we had a great week, which it turned out to be a bad week because
Yeah.
our ice at the Civic Center went bad. They
Could have been better.
They had a leak, so we couldn't practice at the Civic Center. So we had to have a few days. We were supposed to have a 3-on-3 tournament and do some things that we had planned, and that's what I told on my radio. Like even today, these guys like. You know, as a hockey player, you could be a little bit mad. You know, you're like, okay, I was supposed to practice at home at my like they went to Owens today, and I thought our energy was
Yeah.
phenomenal. And guys are just pumped to be playing.
It is
And
what
I
it
guess
is.
when it is what you can't do anything. Why spend 5 seconds being mad at the situation when there's nothing you can do? We went to Owens. We had a great day of practice, and I'm excited for this weekend to watch them play.
We had a lot of guys that keep things loose in there too, which
Yeah.
is it's great.
There,
It's a good atmosphere
there's
all
a
the time.
different the chemistry feel to this team is really, really good.
It's
I mean, you've
think
had
it's-
great
yeah.
teams that have produced great results, but this group seems to really mesh very well.
Yeah, and I think we have the character that even if we lose a few, I think guys would still be happy
Yeah,
and
I
loose and just.
Well, I
don't
mean,
think
you're not going 56-0.
No.
It would
Wow.
be really cool
Why
to
not?
see.
Well, why not?
It'd be really cool to see, but we know it's not going to happen.
No,
but I don't worry about this team responding. To
I
it.
don't worry about the character of this team at
No.
all this year. No.
No.
Even when we were down, like no one was
No panic on the
No.
bench. Everybody was calm, cool,
Yeah.
collective. Then you have the goalies that come to the bench and makes jokes, and they don't. Everybody's kind of they're loose, and I don't think losing a few games is going to change anything. I think we have the type of character and the team chemistry that you don't find that much anymore. So it's kind of cool to watch those guys just perform, not only in practice but in games, and just keeping it always loose and ready to go. And as much as we are loose, we're all competitors. I think we have a lot of competitors that like to win. So that's a lot of fun.
All right, we're going to wrap it up with a quick shot here with Mr. McCormick, because we ask every player on here this question. If you couldn't skate with a couple of NHL line mates in a NHL game tomorrow, who do you pick?
McDavid and Kane.
He is got a high IQ. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And a goaltender maybe you'd like to take a shot at?
I don't know, whoever's got the worst save percentage.
Smart man, right?
Very high IQ. That's going to do it here for the Journal Star Sports Writers. My guest, Jean-Guy Trudel, head coach of the Rivermen. Darren McCormick, the SPHL goal-scoring leader now with 8, not 7. I'm Dave Eminian. We'll be back next week. Thanks.